Hello and welcome to Patch. I'm your host Paul James and I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, Matt?
Paul has become
I'm an X-Bot.
one of them.
I'm an X-Bot.
What happens when you get free stuff? That's how you turn.
Yeah, you become a dirty shill. There's a beanie sitting in the house. I've got this hoodie that they've given me, but more on Xbox and their showcase later. What have you been up to?
I don't know, just watching some game trailers as everyone else has been doing.
And as Twitter's informed me, you're playing a Souls game. You're playing Dark Souls. Holy shit.
Okay, hang on. Wait, we haven't gone that far yet. I've only died once, but I haven't gone that far yet. So, oh wait, no, I died twice. I rolled off the edge because someone said there was a secret there. I thought, okay, they lied to me.
You got trolled.
I got absolutely boned.
That's good. I'm a fan of that.
I'm never believing anything that anyone says again.
Not in a Souls game. Don't do it.
Bloody stitch up. That's what it was.
So, as you highlighted a moment ago, there's been plenty of trailers because we've had Summer Games Fest. I mean, Summer Games Fest, I guess, is the overall sort of thing, but we've had Summer Games Fest kick off. We've had the Xbox Showcase. There's been Devolver doing stuff. There's a whole bunch of other little shows, future game shows, PC game shows. There's wholesome directs. There's all sorts of stuff going on. We've still got Capcom to maybe by the time this goes up, I can't remember when they were doing theirs. Capcom have got a showcase. Square Enix have got one that's like 10 minutes long, dedicated to Final Fantasy VII for the 25th anniversary. They've got all sorts. There's plenty still going on over the course of next week, but we're going to zero in on the two big ones today and talk about the Summer Games Fest kickoff, so the Key 3, as was being dubbed, and the Xbox Games Showcase, which I've been shilling out. And we'll just kind of talk about something. We're not going to go through in crazy depth and talk about every single game. We'll just kind of focus on the games that we like the most and maybe shout out some others afterwards.
An incredibly long time, especially for the Xbox side of things. That's just going to take days.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
So, yeah, we'll start with Summer Games Fest. I mean, and as you said, both events, like the Summer Games Fest was 2 hours, Xbox was 90 minutes. So to go through them all is going to take us a long time. We'll start with Summer Games Fest, though, and we'll kind of wheel through some of the games that we were particularly fond of from what we saw. I personally ranked mine like 3, 2, and then a number 1. I don't know if you went through a similar sort of thing at all, or you just listed
I just picked games? 3, because with the Summer Games Fest, or whatever it's called, I just wrote some things down, then walked away for about 10 minutes, and completely forgot exactly what happened.
That's fair.
At the Summer Games Fest, because it just... Like we said off air, we said this off air, but we'll say it on air. About 50% of them, maybe more.
There was a shit ton of horror games.
Survival horror games. And one we've already seen before, which was the old Callisto Protocol. Was it Callisto Protocol?
Yeah, Callisto Protocol, yep.
The guy I thought was Carl Urban, but it's Josh Jumbrell. I got stitched up by there too. I thought it was Carl, it wasn't. But we saw some gameplay of that, which that's not in my 3, but we saw some
it is in mine, so we'll hold on that one then, so I can kind of rant about that when the time comes. But what was, I guess, I assume probably of your 3, there's probably a favourite, but I guess what was the least favourite of the 3?
I'm not going to say not the least favourite, because I don't have the least favourite. I mean, if it was the least favourite out of all of them, I'd probably say Goat Simulator 3. As much as I love the trailer, no way in hell I'm playing a goat game again.
Especially that was my 3. So being so brazen as to go, we didn't even put out a Goat Simulator 2. Let's just announce.
Oh, so they've done the old Windows trick, which I see.
Dodgy
just skip whatever. Skip 9, jump to 10.
Exactly.
I'm guessing Goat Simulator 2 was that bad. They just went, scrap it. We're going to 3.
We're making a third one, and then we're going to take the piss out of Dead Rising 2 when we do it.
Well, you can.
The trailer.
Oh,
the game that's still not out.
Dead Rising 2.
Yeah, after like 10 years.
What, are we talking about the same Dead Rising game?
Dead Rising? No, Dead Island. Dead Island. Sorry, my bad.
I was going to say, I was just trying to think. I swear I played Dead
Rising. Yeah, they've even got 4 of those.
Dude,
they did skip number 2. Promise they did skip number 2.
No, they did skip number 2. 2 wasn't bad. I will admit that. I did play that, but I don't putting Goat Simulator 3 as my top 3. That's enough about goats. I put my number 3 as, well, the first one that came up, which was High Water.
Okay.
Because I thought any game where you travel along in an inflatable yellow boat, I'm all in.
I would not have picked that from you. It doesn't seem like a Matto game at all.
It's not, but like we said, there were so many survival horror games. I was just like, I don't care about all these survival horror games. It's just there's too many of them. Just cut it out, people.
Layers of fears.
Just because Returnal did so well last year, that everyone just has to jump on board and go, hey, we want to do the same thing too.
Not that there was a lot of horror in that, but yeah.
Or Callisto Protocol just thought, you know what, we love Dead Space. We're going to make one just like Dead Space.
Well, we made Dead Space, so we're going to make Dead Space.
Oh, so did they? Not. Oh, well, they say so. They've done the old was it?
Yeah, Glenn Schofield.
So it's pretty much the Left 4 Dead Back 4 Blood type of technique,
but hopefully better.
But like the same people making it, but
yeah,
hopefully better. It does look pretty good, but that's
pretty
for you. That's for you to talk about later. Let's not worry about that later. But yeah, so that's my number 3. Just hey. Nothing I like more than a relaxing travel along in an inflatable yellow boat.
It does seem kind of cool. Like, it didn't make the cut for me, but it does seem pretty cool. I'll be interested to kind of see what it ultimately ends up being. Like, if there's a bit more gameplay to it than just kind of floating in the boat from point A to point B and getting a story delivered along the way.
If that's the case, then I'll be very disappointed. The yellow boat let me down.
I don't know. It'll probably come to Game Pass and you won't have to spend a cent, so that'll make you feel better if that's the case.
Yeah. Not going to complain about that, but
I guess my number 3 had survival horror elements to it, I guess. Like, it kind of lent into it a little bit, but it's definitely not a survival horror game. Witchfire. Did you catch that one from the list?
I do, but like I said, I can't remember it. Hey, let me just see if I wrote some notes about it.
Witchfire.
That is the first person shooter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it the first? Okay, I may vaguely remember it.
Kind of really Doom inspired, but a fantasy setting as opposed to the kind of the end of the world demonic stuff.
Oh yes, okay, yes.
Like, this is a game that Jeff announced at Game Awards something like 5 years ago, and it just went dead silent. And it was a weird one because it was kind of a collaboration. Like, the Astronauts is the team behind it, and they made The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is a walking sim. And then all of a sudden, they've kind of partnered up with People Can Fly, which is the Outriders team, and the team that also did... oh, shit. Looking off screen, I can't see the game. It was a first-person shooter that was really kind of... No, it's not going to come to me. I'm not going to be able to find... I'm not going to be able to pick the box art out of the crowd. But, anyway, like, gone from a walking sim to a really full-on, super intense first-person shooter, and then it just looks great. The fantasy stuff really does speak to me. I'm pretty keen on all that, so it's shaping up really well, and it's going into early access sometime before the end of the year. I don't know if I'll actually play it in early access. I kind of like to avoid early access stuff. A bit like, I mean, we'll talk about potentially Grounded when we're talking about the Xbox side of things, but I don't know. The idea of playing the games and they're not quite finished, and then trying to go back and playing them when they are, but maybe your opinion's a bit messed up because of the potentially negative experiences you had along the way with bugs and those sorts of things that are still in it. It's kind of why I try to avoid early access or game previews and those sorts of things. And I can't really... At this point, I haven't come across a game where I'd be willing to make the exception for that. So I'll probably skip it when it goes into early access and just wait for the full 1.0 release. But it's looking great. Super, super keen. What's next for you?
Oh, hang on. Just lost my notes there. Which one was it? No, it was... I do remember it. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Shredder Revenge 2.
Which is out this week.
This week, yeah. Nothing I like more than a 90s beat-em-up game in 2022, and it looks really good. No, I'm not going to lie. It looks like a good old-fashioned 90s beat-em-up game, and I'm all for that. With absolute chaos in between.
Yeah, I'm super, super keen. And yeah, you can play as... I mean, you can play in up to 6-player co-op, which is kind of cool.
That's the new thing, is that we've finally upgraded from 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, what other game was having ridiculous amounts of co-op?
I do remember there was another one that said 6 as well.
I'm thinking about Mario Strikers. The fact you can play 8-player Mario Strikers.
Wow.
Because I'm fresh off that, so...
Just kicking a ball around, having some fun.
Yeah.
Wow. And all these years we thought you could only do 4, and now
it's 6.
6 and 8.
And yet Halo still refuses to put catch co-op in it.
Come on, Halo.
Oh, we've got to render the game twice. So what?
That sounds like the worst excuse ever. Like, oh yeah.
Sorry, I better defend them. Actually, no, I'm an Xbox now. They can't put a toe wrong. It all makes sense.
Is this like the old PS3 and the old PlayStation? They're not being able to get PS3 games to not stream. Is that just sort of the same thing?
Yeah, who knows? Could be. I mean, there is actually a lot more technical stuff that goes on behind the lack of couch co-op in AAA stuff. But anyway, more on that another time. For me, we've already shouted out. My number 2 was Callisto Protocol. I love Dead Space. And I'm thrilled that they're going to get out just before Dead Space, because I'd hate to see them kind of get lost in the shadow of their own game that they made, being remade. But, I mean, it's still got that same hyper level of violence, but not like just uncontrolled. You know, it's not in that Doom sort of way, which is just explosions of blood and shit everywhere. Like, it's still
rip and tear,
contextual,
as
and
they say.
And don't get me wrong, obviously, we both love Doom and Doom Eternal, but it's not just for the sake of it. Like, you're still blowing off limbs because that's gonna slow the thing down, or you can kind of use I can't remember what the exact mechanic was, but like a kinetic grab style thing from Dead Space, and kind of throw them into big blades and those sorts of stuff that chops up the things. Like, it's all that sort of stuff. And then there's obviously still the grotesque deaths if you die, which is, they had a bit of that in Dead Space, but it seems like they've taken a hell of a lot of inspiration from Tomb Raider in terms of
the brutality of deaths. Yes,
where you get sucked into the fan itself and get shredded up. There's the other one where you see his head kind of just get bitten, and it just, half of it just pops off. Something out of Game of Thrones, really. We've made that reference a few times in the last couple of episodes. I won't wade into that again.
That's because last time we'll talk about the Mandalorian get his head crushed in.
Yeah.
By that big dude. There's a reason why.
That was kind of me making a reference there too, but yeah, I mean, the game's looking really good, and it's coming out December 2nd, so I'm super keen. What else do you love from the thing?
There's a few things that didn't make my number ones, but I'll say Midnight Fight Express.
Yeah.
Which was impressive for a single dad from Poland. That's the main thing I got out of it. I thought, for one dude to make that, also gains of help as well. There was that, but overall,
he's changed the message a little bit, because that was it was one guy on his own back in the day, and now it's a single dad.
Yeah, he's got this whole
with a few mates that are helping out
from these big studios.
Also, does that mean that it's not actually that he was working on his own? It's just that he's single. Like, they're just Jeff's making a big deal about his relationship status.
Yeah, but just to get more money, just to help out the poor dad. That's
he's just
like, hey, dad from Poland, here's all the money we've made from this game of yours.
I'm going to really emphasize the fact to the whole world that this guy's relationship went to shit, so you should buy his game.
And he's from Poland, which means absolutely nothing. It's just, it's just like, there's a guy from Poland just making a game.
There's lots of people in Poland making games these days.
Hello, I mean, there is this other company called, was it CD Projekt Red? They make games too, but no, there's no single dad. Pretty sure there's no single dad in that CD Projekt Red. No, making a game and then get all his friends, some buddies around to help him out.
But yeah,
it's look good. I'm gonna say
it's looking really great.
It's looking really great.
And we were talking about before the recording that we've both. Well, I've got the demo ready. I don't know if you're gonna download it and try it out yourself as well.
But, yes.
But the game's out in August too, so we're not gonna have to wait too long before we can try it out, which is pretty sweet. And for me, you probably wouldn't be at all surprised if I just kind of rip this Xbox thing off for a second to kind of embrace my inner Sony pony fanboy. Yes, it's a remake of a game that's not even 10 years old, but The Last of Us Part 1 is my pick. Is kind of the game I just couldn't. Like, I know what it is. It looks amazing what they've done with it. The trailers didn't really show that overly well, but you see.
Didn't they give Joel a smaller bed? That's all I saw of a picture on the internet. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it was quite funny. Right. They got downsized from a queen to a single size bed.
I'll have to have a look for that.
I don't know if it's true or not. I just sort of thought that is quite amusing. That the one thing people pick out of it is Joel gets a smaller bed when he gets injured.
Well, it's Puddlegate for The Last of Us.
Puddlegate, so we're back going to Mattress Gate now.
Yeah.
Or Bedgate, whatever you want to call it.
And Joel getting shortchanged. Times are tough. You can't have a queen. You got to have a single.
It's just
Kid single.
Going with the times, to be honest. Not many people can afford a queen size bed anymore, so they have to go to the old single bed.
So yeah,
There's
there's not a lot I need to say about the game because we know what The Last of Us is, and it's going to be the same game. Like they've made it pretty clear that it is the same scenarios. It doesn't look like they're going to be adding anything to it. They might. There might be some marketing that they're just kind of keeping to themselves at the moment, but I doubt that they're adding anything. So it's just that I'm excited to get a chance to play a remake of a game that I adore in the best possible way, I suppose. I don't know. That's the bias coming out. Callisto Protocol is, I guess, the best new game that's there, but I can't go past The Last of Us. And beyond that, like, there's some cool games, and you've obviously shouted out Shredder's Revenge. I'll kind of... I hope I'm not kind of stealing your... no, you've already just spoken about your number one.
Well, that wasn't really my number one, but it was just
wasn't your number one?
But, oh, no, that'll do. I think that's more impressive. But the number one I would have put was Metal Hellsinger. Would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just, I don't know what you call it. It's sort of...
It's a rhythm Doom game.
Rhythm Doom game. That's the best way you could put it. Just minus the rip and tear part, but...
I mean, it'll probably get there at points.
I mean, it's more impressive that somehow they got all these metal singers to assist with it. You couldn't even get a pop singer to do that. You couldn't get a rapper to do it, or a hip-hop artist. No. Metal people, rock people, sure.
They love their video games.
I mean, I'd be honest, if you asked Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, I reckon he would say, yeah.
Yeah, why not? I'll give it a crack.
Why not, man? But yeah, it looks impressive. I've got to download that because you can download the demo now.
Yeah, feel free, people watching and or listening, to go check out the Player 2 YouTube channel. I've got a Player 2 plays there dedicated to the demo. Where, look, I had some troubles, I think, trying to get the latency right when you're going from a console into a capture card into the PC, and then your audio input is a different thing altogether as well. I think caused a little bit of challenge when it came to latency. I think I was about 43% consistency hitting the notes. So I definitely could have done a lot better, and I plan to before. Well, I'll keep the demo on the PS5 and just try it out properly. Just on a TV without any delay, input lags, or any of those sorts of things. But yeah, pretty sweet. So yeah, I guess I'll shout out. You obviously mentioned Shredder's Revenge, Nightingale, Aaron Flynn, ex-BioWare. It's kind of a survival game, which is not 100% my thing, but it looks like it's a bit more accessible, and they're really leaning into kind of a Borderlands style co-op with friends. Call of Duty.
Yes, Modern Warfare 2.
Like, I really enjoyed the campaign from the Modern Warfare reboot in 2019, and
I remember that one. Yeah, it's still downloaded.
Yeah.
As we speak.
But I'm kind of like, I enjoyed what they showed of the campaign there too, so I'll probably pick it up at some point. I'm not going to rush out to go get it because I don't want to.
Is Soap still alive? Did they say Soap in there? Or just...
I think so. That doesn't mean a hell of a lot to me, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Okay. Or they just still use an old Soap, and they just couldn't be bothered to make another character.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Soap.
Let's wheel them out.
And that other Irish guy that I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, I don't remember him well enough. I don't play enough COD.
Me either. I still haven't played one since Modern Warfare 2, so that's how far behind I am.
Gotham Knights, I'll also shout out. I don't think they're doing a very good job of marketing it at the moment. I think what they're showing makes it actually look kind of bad, but I still believe in the game itself.
Like, there's 3 other characters, and all they show is Nightwing.
Well, it looks like they're kind of having a series of these trailers where it's like, okay, here's Nightwing, here's Batgirl, here's Robin, here's
Red Hood.
Whoever the 4th one. Yeah, Red Hood. But they keep leaning into this Batman is dead thing, which is just making it more and more obvious that Batman won't be dead. And the big hook when they first announced it last year, the year before, was the Court of Owls, and they've just kind of ignored them in all the marketing for a while. And like, that's the most intriguing part of the whole thing, and they're not focusing on it at all. So they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot marketing wise.
They seem to be worrying more about the characters' parkour skills and spinny things.
And gameplay's cool.
And gameplay's cool. We don't need to see gameplay. If it's anything like Batman games, you don't need to show the combat. Everyone knows what the combat is. Especially
let alone times it by 4 because they're doing it for every single character as well.
Yeah, especially if it's anything like Arkham Knight, where you do the old double team beat 'em up.
Yeah. It's fine. We kind of know what to expect already, so let's just move on and kind of tease the story, or just go quiet because the game's not that far away.
We'll just show at least one or two of the enemies.
Yeah.
That you come up against, because at the moment we haven't really seen any of that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like even in their most recent, like the trailer they showed there was like, oh, here's the big enemy, and it was just a dude with a shield. I'm like, oh.
It's like, wow, I saw that guy in all the other Batman games.
The first 10 to 15 minutes of playing any of the previous Batman games.
But I say, with any battle I came up against, there was a guy with a car door. It's nothing new.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's weird. And I guess the last game I'll shout out because I wouldn't have picked that I'd ever play a game in this franchise. Warhammer 40k Darktide. Again, it kind of has that Doom sort of FPS quality about it. It's really, really brutal. This might be like the first time I ever really engaged with Warhammer. I'm kind of keen to try it out. So, yeah. What about you? Were there any other kind of, I guess, honorable mentions or other games you want to shout out?
Not really. I'm trying to think. Hang on, let me go through my notes. Let's see. The Truman Show one, American Arcadia.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. The Truman, or pretty much the Truman Show in gaming form. It does look interesting, trying to escape what we call it, a Big Brother style scenario, or the Truman Show. If anyone's not seen the Truman Show, then your second best thing is Big Brother, sort of thing. Just you're getting watched by cameras.
Slippery slope.
I think it's from one end to the other. That's bottom tier is Big Brother, top tier the Truman Show. That's
get around the Truman Show. It's awesome.
Yeah, get around. It's good stuff. I think that's really it. I'm just trying. Oh, Neon Express. It looked like Time Crisis in...
Neon White.
Neon White. I must have got Express from something else, yeah.
Midnight Fight Express. Yeah, Neon White's out this week as well. So...
Yeah, it's June 16th, I think it said.
Can't say anything about that one right now.
Oh, dear. But we saw it on... We saw a trailer of it.
We saw a trailer. And the official reveal it was coming. So, on the Xbox side, we had the Xbox Showcase... that was just last night, and again, I guess as of when we recorded it was just last night. Again, I'll selfishly, quietly just thank Xbox for kind of the invite to go and check it out. Major Nelson was there. He just vanished after the actual thing was done, which I don't know, whatever, sure. But
they just put him back in his box and all right, Major Nelson, off you go on.
Well, apparently he was off at the Queen's birthday footy today. He was off seeing Collingwood and the Demons play.
Oh, well,
and he's going to EB at High Point tomorrow.
Wasn't the Xbox Game Show thing at 3 o'clock in the morning? Yeah,
3 o'clock in the morning.
You had like 12 hours in between just to...
Yeah, lucky bastard. I wish I could sleep. As of when we record this, I still haven't slept since the showcase.
Been 48 no matter
how
hours.
Hard I've tried. I've been wearing this hoodie, hoping that like it's just going to keep me nice and warm, and I'll just eventually conk out somewhere. But
maybe it is the hoodie. Maybe if you take off the hoodie, you'll fall asleep just like that.
Done. I've gotten close a few times, and the kids have just come bursting in. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it.
Dad,
back to being a parent again. But yeah, I guess on that Xbox side, we had the showcase there. Probably arguably the best showcase of everything that we've had this kind of Summer Games Fest side. Oh, you can make an argument with the PlayStation State of Play as well. But
I was going to say the presentation of Devolver Digital as well.
Oh yeah, Devolver's pretty good. I haven't actually watched the showcase yet.
So I haven't seen all the you are missing out on the showcase.
I've seen the games, but I haven't seen the showcase.
Oh no, you got to watch the showcase.
Got to watch the showcase still.
Oh yeah. If you remember, if you probably watched it.
Well, we watched it last year because we did the E3 recap.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we kept talking about the guy that looked like Aquaman, but wasn't technically Aquaman. But we keep thinking he's Aquaman. But it's almost as good as, well, even better than last year's one.
I like hearing that.
Just with no Aquaman, I'll just say that much. Aquaman does not appear.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
But it's a good presentation.
It's a very good presentation.
I'm all about it then.
Yes.
All right, well, on the Xbox side then, the second best, maybe third best showcase in this month of June. What did you like?
There were many things I liked, but I will give them credit for showing a showcase and guaranteeing that all these games will come out within the next 12 months.
Yeah, it was good in a way and kind of bad in others, but I think for the most part, it's a good thing. Like, I think that
my expectations sort of shifted when they said, I was thinking, oh, cool, we go see Gears of War and all this, and they said, next 12 months. I thought, okay, that's cool. At least they're saying, because I think it's just getting to that point now where they can't guarantee if a game's going to come out.
They should have actually said
not
that
anymore.
before the event. Bit like bit like how Sony tries to curb everyone's expectations beforehand. Says, we're not showing VR2 or God of War won't be here. If they'd have just come out and said, this is going to focus on the next 12 months, that might have even helped settle some of the stuff down about, well, the number of games that haven't shown up at this thing.
It is interesting to see that in their massive list of games coming out in this year, halfway of next year, that Stalker 2 is still a 2023 release. For now, we'll say for now, it is an interesting case still. Yeah. But I think all the games, that's probably going to be the one that may miss the cut.
That's going to miss this year, surely.
I said 2023, but I think within the year, out, but it might be still. Who knows? We don't know. Yeah, but a lot of them are coming to Games Pass, which is insane.
Yeah, they showed 36 games and 33, I think, are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, and I think when they showed more...
A couple of the ones that weren't were Diablo and Overwatch, and we know that they will at some... Well, Overwatch is free to play, but Diablo will at some point, because they'll be owned by Microsoft.
When the purchase happens, they will go straight to Games Pass. But, we're not... Since Activision's in there, we'll talk about another owned company. And this is a game, last year they showed a trailer of it. Couldn't care less about it. I was like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. Don't care.
Oh, you're feeling the same as I am about the same game,
yes.
I think.
The game is Redfall, and when they showed some actual gameplay of it, I thought, hey, this actually looks really good. I was actually blown away. I was like, it's crazy. I was like, I don't know what to expect. It was this whole... I think last year all they talked about this whole co-op stuff, blah, blah, blah. I thought, I don't care about co-op whatsoever with people. But then they showed more, so you can play single player or co-op. And I thought, I can get on board with this.
Yeah.
And and also too, we should say as well, I think, pretty sure, Paul, you won the bet of how much gameplay there was going to be. I think Redfall just already eliminated that just straight away. I thought, that was a lot of gameplay that Redfall showed. I was like, yeah, I'm defeated. I'm absolutely defeated there. Like, I'm done. Like, and you know what? I'll take that defeat because it was good to see some actual gameplay. It was great.
Not a bad bet to lose.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm all in on it, but I actually need to go back and rewatch it. It was just one of those weird things about watching it live at Fortress in Melbourne was the fact that half the screen stopped working at the time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, good on you. Yeah, technology. Good on you, Xbox. The one thing you do is this high advanced technology stuff. You can't. This honestly feels like, and you're a teacher, when they bring out the old TV with the VCR.
To be fair, it wasn't their fault, but yeah, I'm with you.
I know, but I think if anyone doesn't know what a VCR is, it's before a DVD. And if you don't know what a DVD is, that's what we used to do before streaming.
Yeah, we used to burn lots of copies, burn lots of them,
and give it to friends.
Yeah. Go to the video shop, borrow a DVD, burn it, return it the same day.
That would explain why the DVD shops, Blockbuster is no longer around.
Yeah.
Oh well. Sorry, Blockbuster. You had a good run.
I was doing it. Oh yeah, no, I was.
No, let's not go. The cops might be in on this. They might raid us.
Yeah. No, I won't talk about what I did as a teenager.
No, better not. Let's just leave that.
But yeah, I'm real keen on it. But yeah, the screen kind of died. It was dropping in and out at the beginning there. The crowd was getting right into it. The big applause every single time. It was kind of two halves. One half would be dead. It was just not projecting the thing properly. It'd come on for a few seconds, the crowd would lose their shit, and then you'd hear as it died again, and you could see Major Nelson going, oh shit, what's going on?
Oh, is that why you left for?
Probably.
No, screens not working.
But they got it all sorted before the end of Redfall, so I think I just need to go back and rewatch that to kind of, I guess, get half the screen that I couldn't see.
Oh, it was a good starter.
Good
I'll
game,
say that much. It was it looked really good. Which is a next year release, but
early.
Don't worry,
they keep insisting early.
But don't worry, I'm all for it. I'm going to play that day one.
So my next, I guess my first pick is the very next game that they showed, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh yes, you have been talking about this. Is this the actual second one?
Yeah, this is the second game.
Oh yeah, because you've been talking about
DLC at one point for the original, and then it just got so big that it became a full game.
Because you were talking about you wanted a Hollow Knight 2, and here
I mean this thing's been announced for years. Like I've played it at At PAX Australia in 2019. There was a demo at Nintendo.
God. 2019, that was the last PAX.
Pre-pandemic, yeah. Like, I got to play it there, and it's been in development that long. Apparently, Team Cherry, despite the fact they're in South Australia, which basically just didn't deal with COVID from the majority of the time compared to us Victorians and the whole eastern...
Everywhere else.
The whole eastern seaboard. But apparently it still really affected them quite a lot. So, maybe because they had pretty harsh rules, they still weren't allowed to get together to develop or whatever.
Oh, yes,
that maybe it had something to do with that. But, yeah, anyway, like, really, really keen on it. It's coming day one to Game Pass, which I think... Like, and there was a graphic that Xbox put up at the end that was kind of showing the games that were coming out over the next 12 months, and despite what they'd said, that everything that you see is going to be from the 12 months, Hollow Knight wasn't listed in there at all. I don't know, like, I looked through the graphic and, like, they've got...
Sure.
It's not in there. I've picked that thing to bits. It's not in there, and I think that's simply because, despite the fact that Xbox has landed this thing, I think Nintendo is still the core marketing tentpole thing. So I think it'll be a Nintendo Direct or something like that where we get the official release date. So it's almost like, okay, we've got the Game Pass announcement out of the way. Maybe Sony needs to announce somewhere along the way that they're going to get it as well. But Nintendo is the one that gets the big release date reveal. So whether that works out to be this year or next year, I don't know. But I think they needed to get that one out of the way so that Nintendo could do its thing sometime in the future. Hopefully soon. They did show a lot of different environments there, and it's looking pretty great. And I'm just really keen to go back and play Hollow Knight again, the original. What was the next pick for you?
My next one is a game that I recently played, which was not this one. This is the sequel to it.
Oh, game of the franchise.
Yeah, A Plague Tale: Requiem.
Yep, honorable mention for me.
Yeah, it was. I was a big fan of the first one, which I cannot remember what it was called.
Innocence.
Innocence, that's the one. And I really enjoyed that. And then seeing all the more gameplay, would you believe it that there was actual more gameplay?
It's insane. They just kept going.
Crazy. Compared to the one 2 years ago where they showed absolutely no gameplay. No. It's how far has Xbox come from there? But the gameplay I saw, it looked good. It looked like A Plague Tale. That's pretty much all you could say. Just with the rats, more rats.
Yeah.
Can't believe I have to deal with the goddamn rats again. I thought I was over the rats. But no.
Yeah, that's not going anyway.
Dude.
Yeah, I said it in the post on the website when I was writing about that one that, like, every time I see it, I get a reminder that, hey, I really need to go and play Innocence, but I just haven't done it yet, and this was the biggest reminder yet, so I just need to find a gap. How long's the game? You said you've played it. How long was it?
It's
10 to 12?
Not even that. I think about 8 to 10 maybe.
Oh, I just need to lock away a week.
Yeah.
1 week. That'll do the job. When I'm not playing Redacted.
If you don't get distracted or eaten by rats, you should do it in about 8 to 10 hours, I reckon.
Sweet. Let me check. But
it's not overly a big game. That's for sure. Like, I'd say roughly around the 10-hour mark, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, okay. I'm taking a bit of a look now, so I can maybe try and budget for it a bit better. But Plague Tale.
But it is. I'll just try and fill in some time here while you try and find your thing. But it's going to be interesting to see where the 10.5 hours. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the story goes for this one compared to the last one. I'm not going to give too much away what happens in the last one.
Yep,
just
sweet.
Appreciate that. Ruin it for anyone who hasn't played it yet. But if you haven't played it yet and you got Games Pass, go play it. I highly recommend it. Also, this wasn't on the showcase or anything, but if you have Games Pass and you haven't played it, go play Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Okay, let's do that. That's worth it.
Because that is a game that should get more attention because the Avengers was rubbish and it probably ruined its reputation.
Yeah, it hurt it. Absolutely.
And say up yours to Square Enix for not making a second one, so you can go up yours. This is good.
Yeah, get around it. I'm super keen on Requiem. I just need to find that 10.5 hours at this point, I think, and make sure I'm ready, because they didn't put a date, but they still doubled down on 2022, which is good. So there's kind of a big, AA, AAA sort of title coming towards the end of the year from a pretty quality team. So go check that one out. It's crazy. In the same showcase, they announced that, or they showed off that, and they're the same developer responsible for Flight Sim. So
what?
Yeah, they work on. They did Flight Sim as well. So in the same showcase, they've got a Plague Tale, and then they've got Flight Sim where they're adding ships from Halo into it.
Okay, that just completely throws you off. It's just one extreme to the other. Just go from simulation games to survival horror games. It's just, oh, there you go. That is crazy.
So my number 2 was the top dog for the whole event, Starfield. The only reason it's not number 1 is that, firstly, my number 1, I'm just going to froth about it shortly. But, and we've already kind of alluded to it. But anyway, it was just things like, it was typical Bethesda things that kind of pulled it down. Like, the shooting's not quite as good as it needs to be now. It's clearly good enough that we don't need something like VATS in a Fallout, which is a fantastic start. The further we get away from Fallout, the better. But even things like the eyes. Oh.
I'll be honest with you, I noticed the exact same thing when they go into that whatever space travelers building or whatever. The first thing I was looking at is that person you first see looking at her going, has she got a lazy eye or are they just enormous?
That
like, it was really throwing me off. I was like, hang on, what is it? Did they get their animations wrong or are they just doing this for fun? But
it's the same issue they've always had. This particular character could in fact have a lazy eye for all I know. Like the other characters didn't look as though they did. But there's the thing about their eyes where like it's the pupil stuff that like it's like they just don't even worry about it.
So they put those eye drop things in your eyes and the pupils just blow up.
Yeah.
To proportion. I'm looking at it going, that was the first thing I noticed too when you tweeted that out and said the eyes. I thought, oh good, I'm not the only person that thought the eyes were weird.
Yeah, it's
like the first thing was like, they're really shiny as well. I don't remember eyeballs being that shiny.
They are shiny.
Really shiny eyeballs. Unless that person's not even a real person, it's just a robot.
But they have delayed it for 12 months. So they've got 12 months to get the eyes right.
Well, I think we know why. I think we know why it's going to take 12 months because they probably haven't finished the 1,000 planets that they've. Because when they showed that solar system, I thought, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool solar system. And then there's this whole big one. I thought, oh Jesus, that's way too much, Bethesda. You don't need 1,000 planets.
I hated the whole way that Todd did that. It's like, okay, now let's talk about the size. I'm like, oh no, this can't
that was the thing as well. The whole Starfield thing. I thought, oh yeah, he's going to finish now. But wait, there's more thinking. Oh God, just Todd, shut up and get off the screen.
As soon as he
I don't need to say any more.
The heart's going into the mouth because I was bracing for the worst, and then he goes, and then it zooms out a little bit. I'm like, oh, a bit of an exhale. That's not so bad. Oh, but then then let's look at the universe.
Oh right, it's like right, sorry, no, wrong. That's wrong. Boom. It comes out more.
And it's got to be procedurally developed. There's no way they've developed like 1,000 handcrafted planets that have got really meaningful stuff to do in it. So it just becomes Starfield cross No Man's Sky, really.
Yeah, but you should have just stopped at the spaceships. You just showed me spaceship shooting. You could have just stopped it there, but no, you just had to keep going.
Yeah,
you could have just stopped. I know you're owned by Microsoft and everything, but I didn't need to see 15 minutes of it. You could have just showed me 5 minutes of it. I would have been happy.
See these 1,000 planets? Microsoft owns all of them.
All of them.
Phil Spencer owns 16 of them.
I was going to say he owns 500 of them.
Yeah, right, that's fair.
I don't know. 16? No, 16 is a reasonable amount. Reasonable share.
Yeah. And what was your number 1?
Well, that was my number 1.
Oh, Starfield was your number 1. Yeah, I mean, I guess to that point, it does so many things right. It's just, there's like 10%. It's a bit off.
I could put in another number 1. Kojima.
Oh, yeah, okay. Not announcing the game, not announcing Overdose as we all know it to be called, but just there.
But just saying, hi, I'm there, we're doing something with Xbox, and all those PlayStation fanboys were probably in a corner crying. Or like that meme with the Wolverine where he's touching the screen, the photos, just PlayStation fans with Kojima's face in it. That's what I see. Just crying and going, no. Just relax, people. Kojima is not owned by Sony, so he can go do whatever the hell he likes.
And besides, quit complaining. He's already developing Death Stranding 2 anyway. Norman Reedus has already announced
Wasn't he making another it-style game as well?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of things like he's going to make another
supposedly
Silent Hill and all this. And it's like 20 different things Kojima's doing, but the only thing we know is that he's hanging out with Norman Reedus. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Just sitting out in the parking lot, just having a good time.
Bashing his head with a baseball bat for leaking Death Stranding 2.
Oh, well.
I mean, good luck to him for developing 2 games simultaneously like this too. Like, Kojima Productions, his modern day take on Kojima Productions isn't big. But anyway, talk a little bit more about what you really took away from Starfield.
I think, well, my expectation was, it's going to look like Fallout or Skyrim, and it didn't really look like. It sort of more looked, to me, more like a bigger, better version of the Outer Worlds, because if you haven't played the Outer Worlds, then you're not going to understand that. So, but that's what it sort of felt like. It's just Bethesda's own style, its own thing. Whatever you do, it's probably going to have your old companions and all that.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know about the whole building your old house or whatever it is in your ship. I'm hoping that that's an optional thing
to look after these little houses that you build.
That seems like a lot of effort. I know there's 1,000 planets and everything. I could easily find a whole heap of people. I don't really want to go around just, hey, go look after my house, would you? Or my crops.
Quite a ZB62 and tend to my space lawn.
I mean, how do they get all the days for 1,000 planets? Do they just put it into a randomizer thing and just go, right, that'll do, done?
You've got to do that, surely.
Or just button mash and go, yep, that'll do.
And that's how Elon Musk got his kid's name.
Oh, that dickhead.
I can't even remember his kid's name, but it was something horrible.
Yeah. Was it? I don't know. I don't want to know. He's a fool of a man. He'll probably take me off Twitter now for saying that. Oh well, it was nice being there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what else was in
A12, whatever. How you pronounce it.
Like we said, the gunfire looks better than what Fallout was. Just hopefully, and whatever else there was. I can't remember what else there was.
A12.
Oh, we're still talking about that Elon's kid.
There we go, done.
That poor kid. Going to school, Ash, whatever its name is, I can't remember.
Ash A12.
It's just going to be called Ash. What we call it for? It's not a robot. I mean, it could be a robot. We don't know.
Could be.
Could be the start of, the whole Terminator thing's going to begin from Elon Musk. He's the source.
Yeah, this is where it all begins.
Or Cyberdyne. Is it Cyberdyne? Yeah, it is Cyberdyne.
Yep.
I get Cyberdyne and Datadyne mixed up. They're two completely different companies. Datadyne's from Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Or Cybernet.
Cybernet, yeah.
Cybernet. I'm just fusing Cyberdyne and whatever. Datadyne together.
And so I guess for me, my number one is Diablo 4. I was just...
Oh, really?
From the moment that appeared on screen, and it looked like for a moment, like, oh, hang on, this thing might actually come out this year, and I was just starting to... they'd give me a little desk there, I'm just starting, the hands are on the desk, and I'm just starting to... you got fans kind of sitting meters away that are starting to get a little bit buzzed about the whole thing, and I started falling into the trap. I'm trying to sit there and be neutral media and just try and consume it for what it is, but I couldn't help but getting a little bit carried away at that moment. And then, it's coming out sometime next year, sometime within the next 12 months. But it's shaping up really well. They announced the Necromancer class. It's the 5th and final class for launch anyway. And I'm just keen for more. And I guess it's maybe a good thing, considering that there's a bit of a bad taste in the mouth for people at the moment, considering Diablo Immortals requiring you to spend $150,000 if you want to max it. Sorry, Aussie dollars, I should say.
The old 0.2 Metacritic special.
Yeah, the worst ever game on Metacritic.
That we should say that's for fans.
Yeah.
The critics, it's a 74.
Is it sitting on a 74?
I think it's 74, 72. Was today when I looked at it.
I do plan to go check it out. I just haven't had a chance yet.
0.2 for fans, because they think it is some kind of joke.
The worst thing that's ever happened.
Since Candy Crush.
Is this some kind of joke?
No, it is now. Congratulations. And then some dickhead spends $6,000 on something. Don't know what.
Oh, has he? Oh.
I don't know. You get those fools.
So yeah, I think it was probably the best kind of, okay, you got a bit of a bad taste in the mouth about this at the moment. Boom, here's a whole lot of the real deal. And it looks pretty great, and kind of the shared world elements that are going on with it to kind of, I guess, expand on the co-op that they introduced in Diablo, or that they've kind of expanded upon, I should say, in Diablo 3. Yeah, I'm all about it. It's one of my most anticipated games for next year. It's just one of those that you can just pick up and play and go for it, and we'll have to 100% do that when the time comes. So Starfield was your number one. So what? How'd you go? Were there any other games you wanted to shout out at all?
There's a few. I'd say it's finally good to see that Grounded has
1.0
gets a full game now instead of a preview. So it's going to be interesting to see how that is.
Yep.
Because I played a little bit of Grounded back in the day and I just gave up on it because I thought, you know what, I'm just going to wait for the full game to come out.
And because it's coming out like to 1.0, does that mean that that we actually have an exclusive Xbox game for the rest of the year then?
Possibly.
Well, actually, no. There's that and
the other one.
Oh, shit. Yeah, the other Obsidian game. I've just gone blank. The Josh Sawyer game. Pentiment.
Pentiment. That's the one.
So we got two this year, but
two from the one company. So
can't see too many people really gravitating towards Pentiment. It's going to take it's a very specific sort of player that game's for. It's going to be fantastic. I have no doubt, but it's going to attract a very specific group. So, and it's going to be a pretty small group, I think. But that's fine. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Yeah, what else did you... Granted 1.0.
Granted 1.0. What is it? I think... Is it Ereban?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Shadow one. It's called. Yeah, that looks interesting.
Yep.
I don't know if it's... Well, that's a bit harsh. I don't know if it's going to be good. But no, it looks like an interesting game. I'm not going to say. Just see how the mechanics work on that with more robots. That seems to be the new enemy these days. It's just robots.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
With that cat game, is robots, and this one is robots, and
there's a bit of stealth to this one, a bit of Assassin's Creed sort of style stealth to it, which is kind of cool.
And you become a shadow. And my final one, I'll just throw it in there, Forza Motorsports.
But not coming this year, crazy.
Not coming this year. Oh, there is the Hot Wheels one too, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, Hot Wheels coming to Forza Horizon 5.
Out of all the detail of the cars, the crash and everything and that, the only thing I noticed that was looking great was the river flow. The flow in that river was...
I'll have to go and take a look at the water then.
It was brilliant. That is the greatest looking river flow I've ever seen. I know there was cars driving past, but I sort of got distracted by the river.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they were trying to emphasize a lot of those sorts of things though, like, you know, how they showed the plant life kind of growing. I'm like, what's the point? Like, once you finish the race...
You're driving 200 k's an hour, you're not going to be looking at a tree, I'm pretty sure. You might drive into a tree.
Even then, you finish the race and it's a self-contained thing. It's not like Forza Horizon where it's kind of this big open world and things could change over time and it's no big deal because time's passed. It's just like they're self-contained races, like Gran Turismo. There's... Like, the plant should grow over the duration of any race, which is, you know, maximum a day, you know, like what a real-world day would be. It's like... that much. Like you shouldn't notice a change in the plant.
Pretty sure the grass is not going to grow like from this to this in one day. Unless
so I don't know why they're putting that sort of focus on.
Then no, it's not going to happen.
So go figure. I don't know. I don't get it. Good on them, I guess. And then every 5 or 6 races, you actually go out there and you see someone mowing the lawn.
Wow, that grass has grown. That flower has
shit!
sprouted.
Someone comes and runs out. The race is cancelled today. We've got to mow the lawn.
Quick, everyone, look at this plant. It's not going to be like one of those plants that just sprouts once every 100 days or something. Yeah. It's not going to be one of them. It's just everyone has to stop
and take it in.
Yeah.
Any others?
Oh, the problem
I'll admit,
is,
like, setting the jokes aside, it does look pretty good.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. I think that's really it. There's probably a couple of others there, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's fair. For me, there's a few indies that really stick out. Flintlock, which comes from the team.
Oh yes, that was one. Yeah, the one with the axes.
Yep. The last case. No, was it last case or lost case? No, last case of Benedict Fox, which was the.
What was the first case?
Maybe we'll learn about it.
I was confused about. Like, I don't remember there being another Benedict. That's not Cumberbatch.
Benedict, yeah, not Benedict Fox.
Fox. Yeah. So what's his first case? He's like, I want to know what his first case is. It's not his last case.
Yeah, well,
his final case. But anyway, no,
it's kind of a Metroidvania. It looks pretty cool.
It does look
got a pretty cool style, and one that I did not even. I mean, I didn't know about the game beforehand, so I couldn't have predicted it beforehand. But I would not have predicted that I would have liked a game from the same people responsible for Rick and Morty. And yet, High on Life, for some reason, has me. Like Trover Saves the Universe on PlayStation. I think it was a VR title. Could not care less. The Rick and Morty virtual realities. Don't care about any of the stuff they've done there. The humor hasn't appealed at all. But for some reason, the way they delivered it in this worked.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how long I can stand that talking gun.
But there's lots of different guns, so you can.
I know there's a lot of different guns, but I'm just thinking, gun, just shut up. Just.
Yeah,
there might be normal ones. There might be some cool ones, sure, but then you're going to get some annoying ones for sure. But then again, Borderlands did that too with their screaming gun.
Which was, yeah.
And I hated that so much. Oh, it's kicking in now. Oh dear. We're talking about Rick and Morty.
I guess, and the last game for me is Cocoon, which came from the people responsible for Limbo and
the other one.
Yeah, the other one that people love as well. It's not as good as Limbo. Inside. So, yeah, there's kind of a few there for me. Were there any others that you want to shout out?
No.
Or anything from any of the other showcases that you wanted to quickly acknowledge?
From
Devolver, for example.
Cult
of the Lamb.
Angerfoot?
Angerfoot, yep.
Angerfoot, yeah. I'll go with Angerfoot because it did look really good. That's all I'll say. It's like pretty much you go into a room and just kick people. That's pretty much. That's the game. That's the game. I think there's a gun in there too, maybe.
And
all I remember is a foot.
Yeah. Hang on, where are we? Because I've just gone blank on the name and I want to make sure I get it right. The Plucky Squire as well. Plucky Squire was awesome.
Yes.
And it's an Aussie game. Aussie-made game. Just like
really?
Cult of the Lamb is. So.
Oh, wow. All these Aussie games.
Yeah. We're smashing it. Aussies occupied half of the Devolver presentation there.
Considering there was 4 games.
There was 4 games. We took 2 of them.
Oh.
Represent.
Take that as a win.
And then dominating with Hollow Knight there in Xbox. And Aussies just kicking goals left, right and centre. Yeah, I mean, look, we might next week potentially have more to cover because there's still, as I mentioned earlier, there's other showcases still to come from Capcom to Square Enix and a whole bunch of other things in the middle.
I'm pretty sure we can pretty much predict that Capcom's just going to be Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And who knows what else.
Oh, no, but they've... So, they've, because Dragon's Dogma, which was an RPG from about 10 years ago that was kind of out of nowhere popular, of theirs, it's celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, and they've also put up a site in celebration for it, and they've dropped, and people have been commenting on kind of the history of how Capcom does a lot of these sort of things just before they've got a big reveal of a new game or a new entry in a franchise. The previous ones go on unbelievable levels of discount. That's exactly what's happened with Dragon's Dogma, where it's like 90% off its normal price. So I think they're just trying to get that in as many hands as possible, and I think we'll probably see Dragon's Dogma 2 announced this week. There's the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration going on, who knows, and then there's Nintendo Direct presumably is still going to have to pop up somewhere, but
I don't know what they're going to present. I don't know what other games they have.
Shitty Witcher 2. They've got to talk about Shitty Witcher 2 at some point. It's not out this year, but they've got to talk about it.
Oh, there you go.
2023 is going to be nuts. Between the Xbox stuff, whatever PlayStation does, if God of War doesn't make it and it slides into next year.
So many games.
Spider-Man's next year.
Spider-Man, Wolverine.
Zelda.
Starfield. Redfall. So many
Jedi Survivor.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. Next year's going to be out of control. Games.
Ridiculous.
Diablo 4.
Oh, no. What else have we got?
Dead Space.
Oh, so many games.
Good times for all. Unless you actually want to finish any.
Yeah, good luck with that. You might as well just finish all your games now and just clear everything out before the end of 2022 because
you can just hope that 2024 has nothing as a result. Like that could be the thing. Is like you're just playing your backlog all the way through 2024.
There is that possibility, but it could be. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and there's meant to be Suicide Squad next year too.
Oh man, that's another one. Oh, too much.
Next year's gonna be bad. I think we might need to do an episode soon after all this is done to start kind of taking stock of what's to come and just how horribly ugly it's going to be for everyone.
I think I'm going to have to start planning it. Then there's going to be another Cyberpunk DLC somewhere.
Oh yeah, and then we've got our Witcher 3 remaster coming at the end of the year.
God,
the end of this year. that just kind of slows everything down from this year, that pushes some stuff into next year. We're in all sorts of...
We're in shambles. Absolute shambles.
We'll wrap things up there because we might need to start playing games now so that we can actually get ahead. And I need to get some sleep.
And there's probably going to be another Assassin's Creed game in there too.
Yeah, there's the Infinite game that they're working on. I don't know if that'll come out next year or not, but yeah, it's getting bad. It's going to get real bad.
Oh dear.
We'll wrap things up there, though. If you enjoyed this episode of Patched, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live. That includes more episodes of Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Check out the write-ups on several different pieces around Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase. Myself and Matt Hewson have got kind of our versus back and forth dialogue pieces around every single game that was announced or shown there at both of those events. There'll be little news pieces popping up. There'll be Player 2 Plays dedicated to some of the demos that are available. Steam Next Fest, by the time this episode goes live, I think will have kicked off as well. So there's hundreds and hundreds of demos there, and we'll try and cover as many of them as possible in various different ways, whatever that happens to be. Lots of stuff there. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick a few bucks. Lower tiers early access episodes, high tiers multi-episode exclusives. And finally, Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website's Player2au. And until next time, Xbox is the best. Got this Woody thing. Yeah. Fuck PlayStation.
Next week, so he's going to see that and go, right, get that man.
I've got an Woody on the way. There's an Woody on the way from PlayStation.
Get that man Woody and a beanie. Pronto.
I'll have to, because I posted the photo of me in the Woody early today. I might just have to at PlayStation. Can you match this, please? Anyway, see you everyone.